Hello everyone, my name is Olumide Olayinka, and I'm going to be presenting to you a small demonstration around brand optimal process. So let's first look at how the flow chart looks like first. So we are looking at the situation whereby there is a client brief to the execution aspect. It starts with the aspect whereby there's an opportunity that is a client brief is being sent to Brands Optima through different channels. So regardless of the channel that is involved, but let's look at it. For example, a mail is sent by the client, then the creative department, which the client service department, would organize a kind of brainstorming session. They discuss what the brief is all about. Then after the whole discussion, the client service would make a plan writing based on what has been discussed in the brainstorming session. After writing the plan, they send it to the creative department, who looks at it, then try to give a kind of image representation of what the plan writing is all about. So then when the creative departments are done, they send it back to the client service, who checks as well. Then before they send it down to the operation department, so that they can work on it and create a budget out of it. So they send it down to the operations department. Operations department works on it, try to get the activity out, and give a cost to it, contacting different vendors that might be involved. Then they have a budget they need to work on. Then after getting the cost item on it, they send it back to the client service department again, who then forward it to forward the budget, the visualization, and probably the writing as well. So everything encompasses into a plan, and send it down to the what's it called? They send it down to the client. So they send it down to the client for review. The client looks at it, then approves it or makes a kind of comment on it. So when then they send it back to the client service. They send it back to the client service if they definitely approves it or not. So it's indicated there. Then the client service then forward it down to the procurement department. That is, if it has been finalized, that is, it has been approved, or if there is any kind of amendment that needs to be done, the client service look at that, then they forward it down to the procurement department. Now the function of the procurement department here is to try as much as possible to beat down the price. So they have they have a KPI to save like 40% on that. So then they send it down to them, they work on it as well, try to save 40%. Then when they are done, they send it to the MD, or in absence of the MD, the ED also can approve. But at the points whereby the ED needs to approve as well, a notification should also be sent to the MD, so that the MD can be aware of the plan and whatever the budget or adjustment that has been made. So he needs to also get that notification. If it is being approved by either MD or the ED, it should also send a notification to the finance department. So what has been worked on, which is the what is it called, the budget, needs to also be sent to the finance department. So the finance use that to track every activity, that is invoice that are generated, all expenses that are being generated. They need to track all these activities from their hand for reporting purpose. At the end of the day, they want to be able to get a cost variance report between what has been budgeted, then also the actual cost on those activity or budget line. So that's just a very direct and very straightforward process relating to what was it called, operations, the core operations of brands Optima. Then that's at the budget level. If that process has been approved, then so like I said it should be tracked. So all payments, all invoices that are being raised should be tracked. Okay, so that's the process around here. So sends to finance. So for every invoice that is also being raised, or every payment that is also being raised, that has to be sent to finance for confirmation as it's within the budget. Then it's been sent to the ED and MD also again for approval. So when it's sent for approval, they make their final validation on it. Then that's just it. So it's just a simple process. So we are going to look at this process, that is from the client briefing, from branch Optimal receiving client brief, to this aspect whereby it is tracked as a budget line. So we are going to look at that. Let's go into the application now. So there are some workspace that have been created for each department. Then another thing I need to make mention here, so at this level, for every department, for every activity, there is a requester and there is an approver, someone who generates the document, someone who review the document. Let me use that word, review the document, before it even gets to the next line of action. So we are going to be using within the system, we are going to be using the ERPNext to drive this process. And as well, within the ERPNext, there's a custom screen that has been created for this purpose, which is we call the client brief. So as well, custom workflow has also been defined, whereby you will see the process of document movement from one state into another state, and how it is being able to create another document from that level. So these are the workspace. So the workspace we are going to start with, this is the MD's view, this is the ED's view, but we are looking at the client service view for our process. The first thing is either when we get the mail from the client, you get a mail from your client and you need to also indicate it within the system. So whatever that has been gotten from the client is actually an opportunity to a business. So a business has come in, so it has to be recognized as an opportunity. So you need to create this as a client brief. So you need to create this as a client brief. If the client is an existing client that has been with you for a while, then it means you should have the data of that particular customer or client on the system. But if this person is not yet on the system, he or she has never had any transaction with you before, then this is recognized as a lead. So it's like a prospect and all that. So we might want to create the lead, we might want to create this person as a lead. So by clicking on create lead, so we can see different types of lead here. So we might want to do that, or we might want to create it as a client, which is an existing client. So we are going to be using, for example, Samsung for our situation now. we're going to be using that as well. Now the first thing is for me to create a client brief. So create a client brief, which is this. I'll create a client brief, give information regarding the client. So though I've created one before, so maybe we should just make use of, let's make use of this for instance. Now look at this. So I have a customer, Samsung. So this is where I enter the opportunity. This is where I enter the client brief itself. So definitely they may send some document and you wish to attach it, and if there are other information regarding the client, you might want to use the screen to also capture that. But what we are going to looking at is just the client's name, and also if there's any further description on the client. So I may want to attach this. Well, I don't have any document from the client indicating this kind of business opportunity, but let's say let me just use this on example: Samsung phone launch. Let me just use this as an example. So I'll just do this and I save this. So this brief is already created on the system. So if there's any document that is being attached from the client that's been sent to the client, definitely they will send via mail. So I can download that, then attach it into here, just to make sure that everybody is aware of whatever information that is being sent by the client. So me creating these, I can attach the files and all that. All things being equal, I have created the opportunity, or I've created the brief on the system. So creating the brief, now the next thing is the brainstorming session. So you need to invite people to come in for a brainstorming session. It could be people within the organization or outside the organization. So there's an invitation to brainstorming session here, where you can actually pick the client brief. So you can pick the client brief. For instance, the client brief we created the other time is this. So the system will automatically generate a document number on that as well. So we are picking the document number. So if you search here, you can see Samsung, which is still open. Then I can, when is this meeting or this event on time, indicating when is it supposed to begin. So you can use this invitation for meeting, which is the event. You can actually use it to specify activities that need to be done, either the real event, or you can also use it for the meeting. But in this situation, we are using it for the meeting. So we want to indicate the meeting here. So I'll just select the meeting, then put a subject. I can just say brainstorming on Samsung phone launch, just as an example at this period. Then I need to also, so is it a meeting? So I'm indicating that it's a meeting. It's actually private, so I'm making it private. Then am I repeating the event? No. So I can indicate when is the meeting supposed to start and when is it supposed to end. So I can indicate here that starting, for example, tomorrow, and it ends also tomorrow. With the timing, I can set the timing also in it. Then also, what else do I need to do? This is where I need, so if you have set a budget, maybe the client has a budget that they've given, then it means that when we're setting up the opportunity or the client brief, it would have indicated the budget amount, which is what's it called, a summary, or the bulk amount. That's, so the system would have also indicated that here, but because we don't have that, that is why it's showing us 0 value there. As well, I can add participants, who are those that are supposed to come for this meeting, this brainstorming session. Then I can so all these are document or forms within the ERPNext. So it means that I must have created a lead, I must have created a contact, I must have created customers and all that. So who are those? For example, in Brand Optimal case, is going to be employees. Let's say employees. So indicating the employee, it would tell you to specify employees that are available, so which means they must be created on the system as well. So you can see employee this added, so this is the person, so that is the only employee I have on the system. Also, if I want to indicate suppliers, maybe in this kind of meeting there are supposed to be some suppliers that are supposed to be involved as well, I can also indicate the supplier. So I've selected supplier for drink vendor, I've also selected food vendor. Now as I'm selecting it, you will not be wondering where is it recording. So if I scroll down here, you would see, so you can see all of them here. So it's hiding it, but the thing is, another important thing is that these people must have email address, so which means you must have their email address entered here. You can either enter here, or when you are setting up each of these documents, that is the supplier, the employee, you have also created their email addresses with them. So this won't go, but let me just delete it, but that is just the essence of that. Then I can give agenda, I can give meeting agenda on what should be discussed on the meeting. I can also indicate that. Then if there's any further description I want on this, I can also indicate all that. So those are just the only thing. I can save it. When I save this, so when I save this, every employee or every supplier created will get a notification for this event or for this brainstorming session that is about to happen. So that is just that about notifying participants on the brainstorming session that is supposed to happen. So all things being equal, if that is not happening, if that is happening as well, that is saved on the system. So then we move to the next one. We need to, let's say after the brainstorming session we have discussed and all that, then the client service goes back to their offices, goes back to give more like a writing, write out whatever thing that has been discussed in that meeting, write it out, plan, strategize on the event that's supposed to happen. So at that level, what they are supposed to do is to create the client brief plan. So this is where they create the client brief plan. This is where the process then begins fully. So Samsung is a client, for example. Then what else? Then we need to indicate. Now this is where all the plan writing, so you can do a copy and a paste into this level. So you can do, there are some documents that are being sent to us based on this process I want to walk us through it with, but plan writing was not sent. So what was sent was the creative aspect, which is the visualization aspect that was sent, but and also the aspect of what's got the budget lines was sent, but the plan writing itself was not sent. But I'll just write some things here. Let's say client brief plan writing. This is where the details of everything that is being discussed, this is where it goes too. Then if there is a Word document or if PDF document, whatever document that you have that you wish to attach to it, you can as well attach it there. Then I can click on save. Now this is already in a draft state. Like I explained earlier, I said for every department or for every activity, there is someone who captures the document and there is someone who approves the document. Yeah, so for every department we have that. Now this person who is the client service, who is supposed to generate the plan writing, has been able to generate a plan writing at this level. So he or she would then request approval to the head of the department, or you call it your directors at each level. Then I can click on request approval. Now the status, the document status changes to, you can see client service HOD review. So this is more like you saying the client service director. So you have this for review. I am the one. Now I have opportunity to the whole document just because I'm using super user. I'm using more like an administrative user. So for everybody that captures on the system, will only be restricted to the activities they do alone. So let me give you an example of what I'm saying. Now look at this. It also automatically generates a document number. So for every form that's been captured, or for every document that's been captured on the system, a document number is being generated. So at this level as well, this then it also shows you activities as you do, whatever thing you view, you edit on this same document, the system also records that. So I'll go out of this screen. I want you to go to the main screen now. Look at, so for you can see, so for the director, the client service director, they will see something like this. You can see await CS HOD approval. So this notification gets to them here as well. There is a notification here as well that also gets to everyone on the system. So you can see all these notifications are then being coming on the system as well. The notification for this was actually stopped, or was actually being blocked, so that we can process this. Otherwise you will get a mail, everybody that has been attached, and we don't want you to just get a mail at this point. So if we want to get a mail, we'll activate it. It's just a button to activate, and everybody sees whatever that is being done within the system. So I can click here to say so the director, the client service director, gets this notification and he or she comes here. So click this. Now you can see the system automatically filter to that same document. So if I click this now, this is the document. So the client service director will have to sign. That's after approval, after he or she had confirmed the writing or the document that is being attached at this level. So he or she signs, then it saves. So now when the client service director saves it, now it needs to indicate that yes, I have approved it. Otherwise the document remain in its current state. We will need the system, so we need the document to move to the next state, and the only way it can move to the next state after saving it is to indicate that it is being approved. If you wish to reject as well, it will reject and goes back to its previous state. So now you can see that after it has been done, the document changes state to sent for visualization. So for visualization, still the same thing. Those that are responsible, which is the creative department, get a notification that a plan writing has been sent for visualization. You understand? So they can, I'm trying to leave the screen so that we can understand whatever thing that I'm saying. That's why I'm leaving the screen. So let's say for the creative department, look at this creative department here. You can see plan visuals yet to commence. Yes, it is. I'm sure it is that one that we're trying to do. So you can see that the creative director is also 0, which means there is nothing available for him to review because nothing has been done. So there is another one in progress. You can see. So if I click here now, plan visuals yet to commence, you will see it is that same one that we were working on before. So I'll click this. Now clicking on this, clicking on this, I can see our visuals here, our plan here. Then we can make, and how do we then indicate that we are ready to commence? I'll just click here to say initiate visuals. You understand? Initiate visuals. So immediately you click on initiate visuals, the creative section had open. So you can see that the creative section here had open at this level. So you can write whatever, you can what's called paste whatever that you wish on this same screen. Let's assume, okay, since a visual was sent to us and we try to let me say this, let me remove, let me add, let me just say let me say for brands optima. Okay, so I'll just, let me use this case studies, Samsung images. So I'll just use this. I'll use this, for example. So I'll add another one. Just let me add few ones. So I'll just add. So which means we can actually add our images directly like this. I will add this, then I'm doing that. Okay, so I will add this. I think I'm on the, okay, let's see. So if I'm good with that, if I'm just good with this, so this is what I would have here. This is what I will have. Or I come here to attach the entire document, which is in PDF, for instance. Let me say yeah, so Samsung A07 launch event, then I can upload. So I upload that. Good. So I've uploaded that document on the system. Sorry, yes. So I've uploaded that document. So I have the document here, and I also have this as well. Yeah, so whichever one suits you at the creative department, you can make use of it then. But this would definitely use images, while this would use any file type. Attaching it would use any file type, but this would use only images. Then I can come here to say so this is the person capturing the documents in visuals, in creative department. You can see visuals in draft, so it's still in draft. So I can just click it to say request approval. So the creative director as well will get a notification. It would come here, check whatever thing that is being done on this document. If it's fine with it, we would sign. If he has comments with it, for instance, if I have comments with this, for instance, I can just come here. Okay, we didn't enable this. We can write comments here. You can write comments here. You can write comments. Hold on, please. You can write comments here. Sorry, I think we didn't give access to that, but so we can sign anyway. We can sign on this document. If so, let me save this. So this user does not have the access to write to make comment on this document. Okay, let me see. Yeah. So, but you can write a comment here. I will check why that comment is not enabled. So that should be on access, right? So this is what the creative department will be able to give out within the system. Okay, so we have something like this. When we are done, we just need to also indicate that it has been approved. We need to indicate. So immediately you approve it, the system knows that you are sending it to, after approval, it's to send to the creative department. So send to the client service department. So that's why you see CS, client service department. So at this level, what next is the client service supposed to do? If they have comment, they make comment, and if not, if everything is fine, they will request budget upload. So they request the budget upload. Now requesting budget upload requested, which is being sent to the what's called operations department. So the operations department would definitely have the list of things that they want to do. So what they just need to do is to say initiate budget upload. When they initiate budget upload, the operations department tab appears as well. You can see it appears as well. Then the system, the way we have created it as well, is to have a kind of template. So we've also designed a kind of template screen where you can capture whatever thing you use frequently. You can capture it at that level. So all I need to do, for instance, now, so based on the Excel we received from Brands Optima, we have this brand Samsung budget lines, which is the activity line. So but we now need it to populate here rather than we creating one after the other. So I just use this operations tags to say fetch from templates. So automatically it will fetch details of templates here. So it fetches details of template. So if you still want to add more, you just add new row. You just add new rows there, enter whatever thing that you wish to write. So that is that. So for this purpose now, so there's a client rates and also client amount that might come. You want to be able to enter or capture all that under this column as well. Then also all these were presets. That is why you can see it dropped here. So this one not preset. We just believe that what is actually needed is what will be the frequent needs. The frequent needs will be quantity and duration with operatives rate, then operatives amount. You understand? So operative amount would always change at every point in time. So it is the rate. So let's say the rate, for instance, I'm trying to change this to 10,000. I'll just change this. It allows you to modify it. It allows you to modify. This is 25,000, right? So I can write this as 26,000, for instance. So then I save. So when I save, all computations will take effect. All computations will take effect. So this that I wrote, let me see. So there's this 26,000, there's this 10,000, which compute automatically there at that level. So what else? Now, okay, yeah, another thing that might be important at this level. Okay, so the system also compute the operations estimated amount. It shows the estimated amount for operations. Then you might want to add your agency rate on it. There's a 10%, for example. Then the VAT is 7.5%. Let me say 7.5%. Then I save it. All computations will take effect after that. So system computes this agency amount, it computes this as well. You understand? So all things being equal, if this is fine, so now, like I said, every department will have someone to capture, then someone to approve, which is the director approving it. So I can come here as well. I can come here as well. So this make a request for approval. I'll make a request for approval. You can see this operations HOD, which is similar to the director, approves it. So a request has been sent. The document still writes await operations director's approval. So if I go out of here as well, just like we've been seeing for everything as well, you would see if I click on operations department, you will see that there's an awaiting document that needs his or approval on it. So I just click here and this same document appears. So this is the same document. Then we can change the status by approving it. So when we approve this, it should then go back to the client service. Yeah, so you say budget sent to client service, so they get the notification that the budget line or the activity line has been updated and it has been sent to them. All things being, so this is computed based on the calculation we saw on the Excel. This is 10% of this amount, while this is 7.5% of agency amount, while the total amount is this value, which is operations estimated amount plus agency amount, then plus VAT would give us this total. So that's the total amount that is there. Then yeah, okay, so now it has been sent to client service. If there's no comment that needs to be made on it, what will client service do? Client service will pick that same document to initiate a client mail. So they will initiate a client mail now, which means, so you can initiate a client mail outside the system or within the system. So outside the system is using your normal emails, but you need to come back onto the system to tell the system that the mail has been sent. So you need to do that. Then also, if I wish to send an email with this, I can just click here to say email. I can just click here to send email. So yeah, I can pick, or I can enter the client's name or the client's email address and all that. Now this, let me just pick I'm just speak myself. So it's either the person is created on the system, or you are entering it manually on your own. So you enter that, then also you can indicate. So now this, why is it bringing out this name? So because we only used pin metrics, what's it called, client server. So we use pin metrics client server, that is why it's bringing. So if we have to enable this for Brands Optima, would have to use a client server at this level. So we'll ask for all those mail, SMTP and all that, all those information. We would indicate it here, and you might want to write messages relating to whatever thing you are sending. So for instance, I can just say let me just say this is for your attention. You understand? So this just a footer, so your signature, you can always remove that. So you can indicate that you want to read a receipt to indicate that it has actually been read by the recipient. So you can also indicate that. Now you can also indicate, so now at this level I can also, because a document format has been designed, so I can brief plan print to customer, so I can pick that print format that I want to see. I can also indicate that. Then also just like what the creative department had added onto the document, I can also, so rather than me picking everything, I can pick the one that I want to send to the client. I can also pick at this level. Then what else? Then all things being equal, I just click on send. So that has been sent to the client. So the client gets a notification as well at that level. So if I come down this, if you see, for every activity that is being done within the system, it is recorded on this document. Look at this, for instance. Look at this. So this has also been sent, so you also get that at that level. Now I'll just click here. This is to indicate that I have sent the plan to the client. I just say sent plan to client, just to indicate that it has actually been sent. I will indicate that at that level. Then after indicating that, you can see the status has changed to await client approval. The client definitely will not use the system to indicate their interest. They would use their normal mail to indicate that yes, they have they agree with this. So all they just need to do at that point is for me to click to say, oh, client actually approved or client rejected. If client approved, it moves to the next stage. If client rejected, it moves backward. So those are the things here. So I'll click on client approved to move on. You can see await procurement review. So if client approved, I have indicated that clients approve, it automatically then goes to the procurement review. So who do the aspect whereby we need to indicate that client approved or not? Who gets the mail from the client? So who is responsible for getting or for reading, or for who do they contact? Who do the client contact? So is that person that will be able to indicate that. So if it's client service, for instance, so the client service would have to do that. So immediately that is done, it's sent to await procurement review. So procurement would have to review this. So, and also you can see that it has also added another tab. You can see procurement tab is already added here. Now, why do we have this procurement tab here? We don't want the original document in terms of operations to be manipulated. We want the original to be kept, while the procurement to have their own documents separately. This is just for control purpose. So as a procurement guy, all I need to do after that, so it's either, definitely I will not be on the system waiting for that and all that, so I get a notification via email or via the system notification. But anytime I come here to my tab, I should see that there is a client brief plan awaiting procurement review. So I should see this. So if I click here as well, I will see that same document. You understand? All I just need to do is to click here and initiate budget review. So when I click on initiate budget review, it has shown that okay, the budget is already in draft. So everybody also gets notifications that the procurement guy has started work on it. Definitely may not finish the thing in a day, 2 days later. So, but everybody get that notifications. Then on this procurement tax, you need to, you know, because I don't want to start adding them one after the other, I need to make a copy. So you make a copy of this same document. So you need to make a copy of it. So I make a copy of it here, which also gives me same details as well here. So I now need to modify. I'm only privileged, which is the procurement guys, is only privileged to this column alone, and this column is the procurement rate. So this is where you put their, this is where they indicate their rates on. So let's say they're trying to beat down price. This is 30, this was 40,000, but they're trying to beat down price to like 30,000, at least for them to indicate it. It means that they've discussed with maybe the suppliers and everyone involved. It's just for them to now feel that, oh, this is what we agreed on. So 5,000, for example, let's say this is 100,000, just for example. Anyway, so I'll just indicate it. So I'll stop at this level. Then so you can pull down through, then I click on save. So based on the calculation we saw, so we can see this percentage on the Excel, which should be the saved amount. I believe it should be the saved amount in percentage. So, and what does this mean? I think we saw minus minus 1 minus this value, I think plus this value, then divided by, then divided by this. So all things being equal, you are supposed to get your rates as expected, but if it's not correct, it's something we can just modify it. But that was a computation we saw in the document being sent to us, and that's just all about that. So I can just click on request approval. This same person would have to request approval, send a request for approval to the procurement director. So just save this or request approval on that. So request approval. Now you see he needs to sign as well. He needs to sign, he needs to make his comment and all that. Then I can just click on save. Now if that is done, what else? Then we need to also, okay, now the procurement director also get a notification. It's in his own screen. You'll see, okay, we have two different documents here. So there's one done a day ago, and there's one just done now. You can see the timeline on the document. So I can just click here, for example, which is the one that is being done now. So as the procurement director, all I just need to do is to click on, so you are either requesting MD approval or ED approval, or you are definitely rejecting it. So you might want to reject it so that some things can be worked on and all that. So if it is let's say ED approval, I'll just click on ED approval. That is, you are requesting ED's approval. So it's only the ED and the MD will get a notification on these. The only person that can work on this document is the ED. So the ED makes a comment on it, good to go. Let me just say good to go. Then the ED makes a signature on it, his or her signature on it, for example. Then we save this. So after saving this, what's the next thing? So it needs to indicate that it has been approved. Approve. Now this has been approved. Who gets a notification? The ED. Everybody gets a notification, but the next line of action will be from the finance team. So the finance team will get a notification that, oh, this particular client brief plan has been approved. You can commence the project. So what they do is to initiate the budget tracking. They initiate the budget tracking on the document. Then they click on create task for tracking, because this is a separate document. This is your core operations document, but it needs to send some activity that they need to track on based on all these lines of actions that is being here. Based on this line of action that is here, we need to create. That's why you have this create task for tracking. So when you click on the create task for tracking, it also creates a project in proper. It creates a project as well, so that you can track that. You can see project and task created successfully. So this is it. So how do I know it has been created? All I just need to do is just to click here. It takes me to the project screen. Excuse me. It takes me to the project screen, where I'm going to see, I can actually see the amount here. I can see the amount. I can see the amount here. Then, which is the total procurement amount. I can see that here. Then I can also indicate when is the project supposed to start and when is it expected to end. I can indicate that as well here. Then each task, remember, the project is different from the task, so the tasks are the activities itself. So I can actually see, clicking on that, I'll see each task. So these are all the tasks that are being created on the system. So the system will automatically create all this. So it also gives amount on each task. You understand? So if you want to track the transactions on them, you can easily track those transactions on them. Then I can go out of this screen. Just let me go out of this screen. So I have this now. I can save this. So initially, when it creates the project, or when it creates the track, when it creates the track budget, it will give an ID, which is the project ID. Then later it will change it to the name, project name. So then also put tracking here. So you might see, this is what I'm trying to explain. Let me go back here. Look at this. You can see an ID. When it creates, this is the first thing it will create with, then later change it to this. This is the name. What is this? The ID. So it's just for you to stay identified the two. There's nothing serious about that. So I think that's just all. Okay, So now, let's see. Now the finance guys need to also indicate that the budget tracking progress. Just indicate that it's in progress. Just to indicate that it is in progress, so you can see. So at every point in time, if you check the list of your client brief plan, you will see the status. You will see the plan that has been approved, the one that is completed, the one that is project, all that. You can actually see it from this level. You understand? So let's go back. So that's that about that. Oh, I forgot to also mention the MD's view. So on the MD's view, you can see MDs that is awaiting approval. So looking at this, this is just the only one. This is not what we did now. This wasn't the one we did now. This has been done, so you can see 2 weeks ago. So you will indicate any document that is awaiting MD's approval. So for instance, MD would have just this screen alone. All he just needs to do is just to check, oh, do I have any document that is awaiting my approval, and all that. The same thing too goes to the client brief. They want to know all the brief that they've gotten from the client, so they can actually see it. You can see the status of the ones open and the ones that are being closed. You can also see that at that level. Then you can also see client brief plan, that is the plan. Let me see. So this client brief plan, let me filter. So you can also see all plans that have been generated on the document. So that's about that. There is nothing. The same thing too on ED's view. You can see the same thing. Anyone that is awaiting the ED's approval and all that. So let's go back here. Let's go back. So sorry. So this, all things being equal, so how do we then track all these activities? So for every activity that is being generated within the system, let's say for example there is a supplier's invoice that needs to be raised within the system. With that we finish the that aspect. You understand? So for every, so I can click on supplier's invoice, so which means there must be a supplier's invoice first. Let's see, supplier's invoice. So the supplier must be created on the system. That's why you have the suppliers list then before you generate an invoice for them, because they will also indicate, they will send you an invoice. So those are the things we would need to generate on the system. So at this level you can start picking the details of the items, which means that you first pick the supplier that is involved. Who is that supplier that is involved? Then what is the budget line tracking activity that you need to select? So at this point I can say, oh, okay, for which project did we just do? So for example, I just said this project, for example. Now we must know all the this thing as well, all the tax we want to track with as well. So we also indicate at this level, we'll indicate at this level also. So, and that's done about that. So for every invoice that is being generated, it is tracked with something, with a budget line, and that's how to select the budget line. So that is just that's the end of this session, or this short demonstration on the clients, on a core process of brands optima from the aspect of receiving the client's brief to the aspect of executing the budget line tracking for their budget. So those are just the only thing that is regarded there. So thank you very much. If you have any question, please let me know. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.